ready, Duty?
Yeah.
She's over here to the right.
Look here at me. Look here.
Sweetie, what in the world are you doing? You got the kiss, sweetie. Oh, is she? My goodness alive. Oh, goodness. Oh, isn't she pretty? Oh, baby. Baby. Oh. Oh. Yeah.
What a way to celebrate Veterans Day. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? That's a 101-year-old World War II veteran meeting his great-great-granddaughter for the very first time. That's how his great-granddaughter honored this 101-year-old Oklahoma native. 26-year-old Lexi Fowler told Fox News that her great-grandfather, Dewey Murhead, that you just saw there, is the very definition of a true American hero. And as you just saw there, she recently honored him and his sacrifice by giving him the unspeakable joy of holding his great-great-granddaughter in his arms for the very first time. The backstory is that Lexi and her husband had scheduled a newborn photo session when they decided to surprise Dewey, who served during World War II in the Army Air Corps, and or Corps if you're Obama, and that's what you just saw there. It's so absolutely beautiful, and it just brings home precisely the precious lives that Dewey and tens of millions of others like him served to protect over the ages. And since we're sharing home video here, we've got another one queued up as well. Mikey, you want to do this for us?
Do one big family shot.
Everyone good with flash?
That's dark MAGA does that.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. One more. Got it.
Perfect.
That's great.
Why don't we do a family shot?
Elon, you have to have a picture with your boy. So we have to get Elon with his boy.
Okay. Absolutely.
That gorgeous, perfect
Tristan's
boy.
almost enough.
That's a great
Perfect.
picture.
Whole family.
Family? You got it?
Sam, go.
Laura?
Come on in.
Well, there they are. That's the new returning first family, ushering in, as you could see by the ambiance there, a new American golden age. And we're all here on the front lines to witness the return of number 45 as number 47, and is going to be absolutely glorious. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve. A very blessed and happy Veterans Day to you all. And, of course, a huge shout out to all of you veterans out there. Thank you so much for your service to our nation and protecting the freedoms that have allowed a new American golden age to dawn. And as part of honoring this very special day, I am joined by my friend and fellow YouTuber and veteran Ben Dykes from the Veteran Biker YouTube channel. Ben, come on aboard. If you don't know Ben's work, you got to click on the link below. You're going to love his channel. He absolutely crushes it each and every day. He'll be hanging out with us all night long, well, for our hour and a half, both YouTube and Rumble, and in our private Q&A session that only our club members get to enjoy. And guys, if you're not a club member yet, in celebration of the MAGA election victory, we're doing a 47% off deal. How do you like that? It's 47% off any tier support that you'd like to join. Just click on the link or scan. Do we have that cool QR code? Oh, come on, Mike. I love our QR code. I don't know. Well, just click on the link below if you don't have. We don't have our QR. I love this QR code. I put my phone up to it. And but you just click on that and you can sign up for any level of support you like. You will get some of the sweetest fellowship with the coolest patriots on the planet as we enter into the golden age, as Trump would say. So just make sure to click on that link below. There it is. I love that. There it is. Or you can scan that QR code and get 47% off your club membership if you join tonight. Ben, my friend, welcome. Great to see you. And thank you for your service.
Steve, thank you. Keep paying taxes. My retirement check depends on it. I really appreciate it.
That's right. Well, you deserve it, my friend. Those are taxes I will be happy to pay. Absolutely. And again, Ben, if people don't know you, why don't you just give our audience a little backstory of how you started helping veterans?
Yeah, I'm retired from the Navy, did about 21 years in the Navy, worked on submarines, so that probably explains the demented sense of humor and the sarcastic rhetoric that I, you know, blast right at the left wing mob. But now, after leaving the military, I worked briefly as a lobbyist in DC until I found my spine and had the lobotomy reversed in the veterans realm. And now I work in that veterans realm, helping veterans file for service connected disabilities and getting all of the benefits that they earned and they're entitled to. And whenever they wrote that blank check, raising their right hand, that's what I try to do. That's what I do as a full-time job. And then I do YouTube early in the morning before I go to work. And I know that that's kind of the way you got started.
Mhm.
And that's what I do. And I love it. I love both things, but I really enjoy what I do for a day job. And I enjoy talking about other people that are attempting to change the course of America, but we took a right turn, as I like to say.
Oh, we sure did. Do you mind sharing with everyone that little story? You have a wonderful memento from hanging out with soon to be number 47, but
soon to be 47.
Yeah.
Whenever I worked in DC as a lobbyist, I had the opportunity, what, in my opinion, the most important piece of legislation ever signed for veterans outside of establishing the VA. And that was when Donald Trump signed the Community Care Act. And for any veterans or family members of veterans, you know what that is. It allows a veteran to go to any healthcare facility if they live outside of a 30-mile radius of a VA facility, so they can travel anywhere. And while I was there in the Oval Office, and yes, it is oval, I got a little challenge coin from the Donald and a hat that's signed by him. And he was just really, really appreciative. I've met 5 presidents, and I'm going to say that by far, without a shadow of a doubt, my favorite, absolute favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. Without question. Absolutely. Yeah. There's no one quite like him in this administration that he's putting together as we speak. Looks like it will be like nothing we've ever seen before. Also with us tonight is Micah, our producer. As always, come on in, Micah. Good to see you, man. Do you want to tell everyone a little bit of the logistics here? If this is the first time people have come to one of our Monday night live streams.
Yeah, so we have the honor and privilege of having a real life veteran with us today. So to celebrate our first Veterans Day under, well, at least under President-elect number 47, Donald Trump. So if you guys want to ask questions, I have this link. And if you use the code MAGA47, all caps.
Very genuine code. I love it.
Yeah, MAGA47. If you scan this QR code or click the link in the description below, you can ask questions to Dr. Steve, and you get to ask questions to our veteran that is with us today, the veteran biker.
Absolutely.
We are so happy to have him here with us today. But also, this is discounted 47% off in honor of, you guessed it, Donald Trump, our 47th president elect right now. God willing, he gets in.
Absolutely.
We are, anything could happen at this point, but Lord willing.
Stop. Stop. We're done with any no dooming. We had so many doomers.
No, I am optimistic. I am so
all right. No
optimistic
Denethors pouring oil on themselves, lighting themselves on fire.
We don't need a part 2 to Steve's book. We don't need a part 2.
See, Turley Talks has been so optimistic. I'm just not used to this level of optimism.
Oh,
there you go.
I'm a little
bask in the glory.
Bask in the glory.
Exactly. So if you guys, again, you guys can sign up, and this is 47% off. So sorry to the old people, but this new deal is in honor of Trump ascending to the presidency, and he's going to take care of our veterans. That's for sure. So please scan that QR code, click the link below, and sign up. You get to ask questions every single Monday night, and we have a ton more exclusive content for you. with Turley Talks and with Dr. Steve. So without further ado, let's get into some of the questions that our special members, our VIPs have. So let's see. We had a couple queued up. We've got one. Let's see.
Actually, while you're doing it, while you're getting that, can I ask Ben?
Yes,
so
sir.
what did you do on election night, and how did you where were you when you found out that they called Pennsylvania, our own backyard here in Pennsylvania?
Oh, I'm so happy that Scott Pressler
Scott
moved
Pressler,
to
yeah,
Pennsylvania.
yeah. Isn't he amazing?
I'm so happy. I donated quite a bit of money to Scott, and I'm so proud. I was at home, and it was one of those things where I just needed my space. I needed some solitude, and because at certain points I was nervous. It was highs and lows, and then I saw exactly what we talked about earlier. And typically my grandfather always said the Democrats always get ahead early in the polls, and then the Republicans get off work. And that's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. The Republicans punched their time clock. They got off work. I hope they stopped by the liquor store and grabbed them a Schlitz or something like that on their way home to celebrate. But it was glorious. I mean, we saw the states rolling in. And the cringe level, I knew there was more to it because I watched the opposition. Sun Tzu's Art of War, I want to know my enemy. So I was watching CNN, MSDNC, David Pakman, Brian Tyler Cohen. And as I saw their tension.
Oh my, you were really
I was
really
in the
testing yourself. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, just one more leech will make you better, right? And I started seeing the cringe and the diciness, and I was like, they know.
Yeah.
And they did, and they knew, and they felt it. And it was just like obviously the air was sucked out of, what was it, Howard University, the big pavilion where the glass ceiling was supposed to get broken. But I was at home, and I was awake, and I watched Trump do the dance. You know,
the dance, man.
I had to do it. I was texting with Brick Suit, and I was
cool. Okay, yeah, right.
I was texting with some people that were there, and
was he at Mar-a-Lago?
He was, yeah. He was at Mar-a-Lago. I was texting with them, and I just think, and I know that term is often used, at the most important election of all time. But I really felt that. I really felt that.
If we had taken the opposite turn, I mean, I was going to be my fallback was to talk about soft secession, something like Quebec does. So how does Quebec maintain its cultural uniqueness and identity in the midst of the larger Anglo-Canadian sphere? Well, they have all kinds of administrative and legal walls and barriers that they've set up between themselves and Ottawa in order to keep their own unique Quebec culture safe from any infestation, as it were, from Ottawa. That's the way they think, for right or for wrong. And I was thinking red states are going to have to start adopting that. They're going to have to be a Quebec, as it were, inside the United States, and just keep themselves safe administratively, legally, culturally, from this rotting blue state infestation that we have. But fortunately, we don't have to worry about that. It looks like it. If Trump plays his cards right, I mean, when you look at the 3 elections in a row, 2016, 2020, when he got 2020, I think he got 7 million more votes. We've never seen that before. Generally speaking, whenever you have an incumbent running for re-election, they generally, unlike Reagan, but they generally get less votes, or they win, right? So either they're Obama in 2012 that saw a significant fracturing of his coalition, but he still pulled it off, or it's a Reagan, it's a George W. Bush. You get a bigger mandate, you get more vote, and therefore you get reelected. This is the first time we saw somebody get 7 million more votes, but he didn't get reelected. And that was like, what? And then what do you have again? 2024, and he's surpassed now the 2020 total. So I think we got we've got an FDR like realignment here, where he got these record totals, as it were, 3 times in a row, and we really have the potential of seeing a generational political realignment here, very much comparable to what we saw with FDR.
I think, speaking of veterans, I think JD Vance scares the left more than Donald Trump, because he's
agree.
so relatable. I think
Yep.
he scares them more. I think he is connected with the younger voters. And I think that scares, I think that's really what scares the Democrats. And I think, I mean, if we control the House, we control the Senate, which it looks like we have a good chance of doing both. There's no impeachment time wasting, which I think is exactly what happened last time. It was just a lot of time wasting.
Oh yeah, and the whole Russian collusion hoax and all. I mean, they overwhelmed him. I think Trump was stunned at how strong the deep state was back then. Now it just looks like, I mean, with Susie Wiles and Stephen Miller coming in, and I mean, I agree with you. And JD Vance, the way he brings together this new sort of aristo-populist realignment of Appalachia with the new tech right. This new Appalachia with a new aristocracy, but the aristocracy is there, like Aristotle would say, that a good aristocracy takes the values and the interests and concerns of the people and uses the aristocracy's power and wealth to enact them, to realize them, creating monuments, creating concert halls, creating all kinds of things that make people's lives better and enable them to celebrate their common values, interests, and concerns. We have an oligarchy right now that despises, they hate Appalachia. And now I think what JD Vance, even more than Trump, kind of embodies that reunification of this new aristocracy with the working class Appalachia. And I mean, this is just, Aristotle said, if you could find that balance between the aristocracy and the people, you have the most flourishing society. Otherwise, you have an oligarchy that hates the people and constantly oppresses them, or you have the people rise up, like in the French Revolution, cut everyone's head off, and you got mob rule. So if you have this balance between the aristocracy and the people with a common set of values, interests, and concerns that unite them, I mean, again, golden era, man. That's what we're looking at.
Steve, I got a question for you. What is going to trigger the mob the most? Trump said that we were going to have a year-long celebration for the 250th anniversary. I think it's glorious.
Yes.
Nobody's really mentioning it and talking about it. I don't know if, I mean, what is going to trigger the mob more? That January 6th?
Or when he pardons them all?
Yeah. I mean,
I honestly, it's so interesting you say that. I think the J6 pardoning is going to set the media. I mean, I think they're going to have a collective meltdown.
I love it.
And they're going to do exactly. And the joke on them is nobody is watching them anymore. It still has not dawned on them yet, I think, fully, that they have nowhere near the power and the influence they used to have, because we now all, thank you, Elon, we now all have access. Well, even if it wasn't Elon, we could still do it. It would just be harder. But we have the same access to the exact same information that CNN has. So back in the day, before the rise of the internet, CNN, ABC, NBC, New York Times, they had privileged access to information that they then mediated to the public. But now the public has immediate access to that same information, and now we get to fact check them. It's been completely inverted. The power relation has been completely inverted. So that now independent content creators, independent news organizations, now people with a $100 Logitech webcam can garner more views and provide better information than multi-billion-dollar news corporations.
It reminds me of that movie, Captain Phillips, with the Somali pirate. He says, "I'm the captain now." And I just say, I'm the media now.
Yeah, I'm
the media now. And you can't do anything about it.
And there's
And
nothing they can do about it. Exactly.
there's nothing they can do about it. And you and I are more relatable, and everybody else out there are more relatable to everyday working Joe. I pump my own gas, walk my own dogs, have a job, come home, do my own research. I'll say this. I think my channel just hit 170 some odd thousand subscribers.
Dude,
For the first 50,000 subscribers. Yeah, I hit
Yeah.
175,000 today.
dude,
awesome. That's so cool.
phenomenal. Congrats.
For the first 50,000, I use this iPhone.
Wow.
And then finally it was like, I got to buy a camera. You know, but
Sounds, that's basically what I did. That's right. And what's so cool too, Ben, is we don't get to hide behind monikers of CNN or even Fox or New York Times that supposedly creates the legitimacy of our opinions. We have to earn the legitimacy. We have to earn the trust of our audience as independent content creators. Our content is the basis for our legitimacy, not some moniker like the Washington Post or something akin to that. And so we have to earn it. And that's why I think in many respects we're a lot more, not just even relatable, but we're a lot more reliable than what corporations that are under tremendous pressure to manipulate.
And every mainstream news media, you know this is better than anyone. Their number one source of income is advertising from big pharma. And that's why I think Robert F. Kennedy scares them the most, because he's tinkering and he is touching their chalice, their bag of silver. He is touching that.
I love it.
And we don't have that. We don't have that, you know.
Right.
It's just not there. And
I get
super
we try to align any advertiser we have. We try to align them with our values. So there's
core values.
There's no pressure. We're not skewing one way or the other. No, we have our values. And if you're in line there, come on in. If not, go to CNN. Then we don't need you. Yeah.
That scares them the most. Just I always say I'm an expert on my opinion. And in my expert opinion, that's what scares them the most, because you and I, they can't control us. I tried to buy a journalist license. You can't find them anywhere. I was going to buy one, and frame it and put it on the wall. You can't buy them. I don't know where you sell them.
Right.
But the people that are doing the meltdowns right now are the same people for the past 4.5 years that asked every conservative or every Republican that went on any of their shows, are you going to accept the results of the election?
Right. Exactly.
Every one of them. I love
it. And ironically, it's Bob Casey right now in Pennsylvania that's refusing to concede, even though there's no possibility of him even remotely squeaking out a win at this point. It's hilarious.
Did you see the John Fetterman tweets?
No, I didn't. No.
Oh my word. He was.
Is he telling Casey to drop out?
I mean, no. It was the opposite of what you think, because Fetterman has been fairly centrist / right on some issues. He was calling his constituents, he was calling people who voted for the Green Party dip.
Really?
Wow.
Okay, great.
On Twitter, it was really bad.
That's a way. That's the best way to win them over to your side. Insult.
Insult. Which has surprised me. Fetterman had been, pretty critical of the Democratic Party, but when it came to Pennsylvania itself, he got mad.
Sure.
The night of the election, I was walking my dogs around the neighborhood, and it was about 10, 11 o'clock at night. So there was still a lot to go, but I saw it happening. Walking my dogs around the neighborhood. I've got this wacko liberal neighbor, and I saw her putting Kamala Harris signs up while I was walking my dogs. In Arkansas. And I said to her, I was like, you'll be taking those down soon. And she didn't say anything. The next morning I got up when I've had a MAGA flag up outside of my house for months. But as soon as I got up, I looked down the street and I was like, yep, told you so. It was glorious, glorious. But I mean, you and I, for the better part of 8 years, I've been called every phobe under the sun. I've been called a schmatzy, a fascist, everything you can say. And now I'm not forgiving. I'm not.
Right,
You
right,
insulted me. I
right,
served my country. You
right,
insulted me
right,
for so
right.
long,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah, this ends now. It's kind of
Mhm.
like this ends now. We're a very tolerant people and we will tolerate a lot. We love our neighbor, you name it, but this ends now. This,
I got this.
the era of wokeness has officially come to an end.
Kindness is free, right? I got to be kind.
I
I
have
gotta be.
I have some breaking news
Uh-oh.
Ooh, what do we got?
to give everyone. So again, now that I have your attention, you can go to the link below and sign up for our uncensored Q&A. But I do actually have some breaking news. So the Republicans have officially obtained the majority in the House.
Yay, 218. We finally
Right,
passed 218.
finally did
Yay.
it.
Well,
Hallelujah.
thank you, California.
Yeah, honestly.
To say our elections are third world is an insult to the third world, but we'll move on from there.
Steve, I got a question for you about California.
Yeah.
Gavin Newsom is saying, or there's rumors swirling, it'll never happen, that California could secede. And I'm
Oh, I
all
heard
for it
that.
because take your 54 electoral votes and the Democrats would never win another election.
Never
Never.
win another election again. They're already falling apart. Scott Pressler's now looking at Jersey. Jersey came within 5. Jersey is right at the heart of this new realignment now with the Latino and working class and black men under 50 moving to Trump and a Trumpian Republican Party.
Mhm.
And so they're already in the process of solidifying the swing 7 as being fully red, which I think, for example, Nevada's basically going the way of Florida. It's been getting more and more red, and it was just a matter of time before the dam broke, and it finally did. Arizona, it looks like he's going to win by 6 or 7. I mean, these are huge margins, much smaller in the blue wall states. Texas, won by 14 in Texas, for heaven's sake. So solidify. Not that Texas it just shows the new margins that are coming out. Solidify the swing 7 and now create new swing states. New Hampshire, Maine, Virginia, especially if you start breaking up northern Virginia, breaking up the deep state and sending them abroad. Maybe I've heard maybe even send like the CIA building or something to deep Arkansas, for example.
Bring it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. As rewards for just being so awesome and being so faithful to faith, family, and freedom. It's about time that we break up and disassemble DC. And I was talking about with my wife, they're having the same discussion in Japan that they kind of have it's not as brutal, but they have a deep state in Tokyo. And they're like, we have to break up the federal government so it doesn't create this, one size fits all kind of culture that they try to superimpose upon the nation. So that would be the idea. You start breaking up all the different administrations, executive administrations, and send them out and scatter them up among the red states so they take on a red state culture and red state apparatus and employees and so forth. And then you just start rattling off all these new swing states. So New Jersey is going to be a new swing state. Virginia, Minnesota, New Mexico, New Hampshire, Maine. And then they're permanently out of power. So if that is what is Trump call him new scum is, if that's what he's thinking, if he's like, we may be like, I can't even run for president now. If these guys solidify the swing 7, and then we're starting to create Jersey as a new swing state, we're shot. We'll never. We may win a midterm here or there, but in terms of White House power, we'll never see another major presidential victory, at least for the next generation. That's I honestly believe that's what's really concerning them. But we're gunning for California as well, because we were able to shrink that margin by half from 2020. Funny how all those voters seem to disappear, isn't it?
It's weird, isn't it? 18 million of them just boom, gone. No kidding. What do you think about Tom Homan getting appointed as the
isn't that amazing?
czar?
Isn't that amazing? Homan's the best, man. I don't know.
I love him.
If you want, Micah, if you could find a couple of his interactions with like AOC or with that
Oh,
Jayapal, whenever he says,
my
I'm
word.
a taxpayer, you
I'm
work
the
for
taxpayer.
me.
You work for me. You work for me. Again, I'm the captain now, right?
I
The
came out
very-
with a video this morning and I opened it with that Jayapal clip where he says,
Oh.
I'm a taxpayer, you work for me. And I think the American people have got that mentality now.
Yeah.
I really do.
You work for us now. Yeah, we're
Yep.
taking it back. The very fact that he was, outside of Susie Wiles, like the very first administrative, cabinet member appointed as a new border czar shows you where Trump's priorities are. He is not fooling. It's not just he's not fooling around with Tom Homan. He's not fooling around with, okay, number one priority here. I've got a deputy chief of staff here. Or I've got my chief of staff, Stephen Miller's deputy chief of staff. I've got my chiefs of staff set up. All right, first person, boom, borders are. That's what everybody
wanted.
One priority. Exactly. Number one priority.
Do you think we get nationwide voter ID under this administration?
I do. I can't imagine 45 becoming 47 and not, absolutely wreaking havoc.
Because she only won the states with no voter ID.
Exactly right. And with all of that insanity in 2020, Biden only won by 40,000 votes. I mean, that's how massive Trump's mandate was in 2020. But then, we have all these, voters, and got to be careful. We're not on our private platform yet, but you have all these voters that didn't show up again in 2024. Maybe we could get to the bottom of that. ABC News certainly isn't interested in getting to the bottom of it, but maybe an election task force will. And then also to just, the Arizona's got to do something about how they count votes. I know it's in their law. I know Republicans passed it because it used to benefit them. But we got to do something about Arizona. We got to do something about California. I mean, this is just crazy. Here we are almost a week after the election. They're still counting votes. It's crazy.
What do you think about the numbers that are coming out that Kamala paid Beyonce $10 million? And she paid Lizzo $3 million. So it's obviously $1 a pound or something. She paid her, but
it shows you, I think, besides the total mismanagement of the campaign, it shows you their mentality that they actually believe that this woke aristocracy, this oligarchy, was something that would command the fidelity of the majority of the populace. And either they were planning on something really strange happening on election day, or they really honestly believe that putting, millionaire celebrities in your face, fawning over Kamala, was a way of galvanizing an electoral majority. They were obviously living in a fantasy world. Again, that's what before we went live here, we were talking about this a little bit. I mean, whenever I'd get nervous, I would be like, what am I missing? Are we really that far gone? Maybe we are. I don't think so. All the data doesn't seem to suggest it, but maybe we are. Maybe we really do care who Oprah endorses. Maybe we really
she paid Oprah $1 million for that interview.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I have to interrupt you right there. So we had just breaking news like 5 minutes ago.
Is his name Micah?
Hey, Oprah, good
Micah
morning.
Breaking News. Oh, here we go.
How are you, darling? You looking very good. How do you think the election went?
Not talking about the election.
Oh, is it true that they paid you $1 million for the endorsement for Kamala?
Not true.
Not true, okay.
I was paid nothing, ever.
What do you think about all the celebrities with their mass exodus?
I'm not talking about
Do you think Prince Harry's gonna lose his visa now that Trump's president?
I love it.
Brilliant. You're the best. Micah, you're amazing. That is fantastic. I've got to find that clip.
Look up Tom Homan, and I got Oprah walking to her car saying, I wasn't paid $1 million.
I wasn't paid $1 million. I was a lot of people clearly paid a lot of money.
It's contradicting the FEC records of it. Like, do we have the records?
Here's my question. Under Kamala and Biden, no one could afford tickets to go see Taylor Swift.
That's the
Nobody could
irony.
afford that. That's the
That's
irony.
the irony of it all. And even Joe Scarborough's freaking the day after the election. What do you mean butter's $7? Was it laced in gold? It's like, dude, what the hell do you think this last election's been all about over the last 2.5, 3 years? What are you talking about? You know,
They
these
live
people-
in ivory towers.
Ivory towers. That's it. And it's crashing down on them. They can't believe it. They're completely gobsmacked. They literally have no idea how to respond to it.
They're running out of copium really quick, though. And I hope that some lists start coming out.
Oh, they're already talking. Oh, they're already talking about
I saw this afternoon, Kash Patel, CIA director.
I did see that. That would be amazing. Kash Patel. Ken Paxton is on the short list for Attorney General. That'd be amazing. Vivek. There's talk of Vivek possibly doing Homeland Security. This is already becoming. This is the dream team. These are the Avengers. Man.
It reminds me of the first Dream Team when you had Bird, Magic, you had every superstar, Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Karl Malone, and then you had the young kid out of Duke, Christian Leitner. Didn't really need to do anything except look pretty. And like Tulsi Gabbard. I personally would love to see Tulsi Gabbard as Secretary of State. I would love it. Even, I don't know, but it just seems like there's so many amazing options.
Rick Grinnell is another one who's been
Rick Grinnell,
around for Secretary of State.
I think you're right. The seriousness of the early pick of Susie Wiles, and she is a assassin. And then Stephen Miller and Tom Homan. Lays the groundwork.
This is, and it's the deep state's worst nightmare. Absolutely.
All right.
What do you think?
We are going to transition over to our exclusive uncensored Q&A live stream where you will get to ask the veteran biker and Dr. Steve any question you like. It is 47% off. This is 47% off permanently on both the annual and the monthly plans for our exclusive Courageous Conservative Club membership. So if you scan that QR code or click the link below, go to fight.turleytalks.com/MondayQA. You can join our uncensored Q&A for 47% off in honor of Donald Trump, our 47th president, and his glorious victory on November 5th. So we haven't done a Q&A since the election.
This will be the only time I transition. This will be the only transition.
Exactly.
This is a good transition. That's right.
the Trump transition.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love it.
Awesome. So we will see you guys over there. If you want to come with us, and you can come with us every single Monday from now on for 47% off, just click the link below or scan that QR code. Use code MAGA47 and you'll get 47% off. This is a very limited time deal. So don't wait. Don't hesitate. Join us in our exclusive uncensored Q&A with the veteran biker for our Veterans Day celebration. We will see y'all over there very shortly.